Welcome to Ontario, Canada, just north of the town of Bowmanville. Ready for the 5th round of the 2001 American Le Mans Series here on NBC Sports. Today it is the GT3 Grand Prix in Mosport. Mosport International Raceway is where we are. We've had a couple of lovely days weather-wise. Today, though, mostly rainy, only 64 degrees. Our ceiling's pretty low. Let's check our Audi starting grid. The Audi's on the front row, the 1 car. Ronaldo Capello will start that machine alongside his teammate Frank Biela in car number 2. Second row, David Brabham and Jan Magnussen in the Panos LMP 1-50. And alongside, starting 4th, the champion Audi, Andy Wallace, an F1 veteran, Johnny Herbert. Row 3, the Cadillacs qualify 5th and 6th. Wayne Taylor from Altamont Springs, Florida. Max Angelilli will start the 8 car today. Emmanuel Collard will start the team machine, the 7. He'll team with Christophe Tinceau. Glad to have you with us on NBC Sports. The Audis lead him to green, and here we go.
Well, nerves are flying. Look at the Panos. He is already trying to go down the inside. If he can get by, he cannot. That was a brilliant start for the Panos, but look at the spray. There is enormous spray on these opening laps will be thrown up because the downforce, the tunnel effect, throwing up huge sheets of water. It almost looks like hydroplane off the back, doesn't it?
Hard to see in these prototypes, not so much because rain comes into the cockpit, but just because of the spray off the tire.
That's exactly what it is. There's the champion car running around. Now that is actually Andy Wallace in the car. He'll be starting. One of the things we will be paying attention to as the day goes on is Andy Wallace's co-driver, ex-Formula 1 drive, Johnny Herbert, is simply...
Oh, in trouble. The number 1 Audi off the course.
He is hard in the barrier. You saw the onboard. He made a major... There's another Panos off. All kinds of cars here.
That's the Graf Lagorce machine. Frank Lagorce driving the 51. And there's another car.
That's a champion car.
Andy Wallace has gone off in the gravel trap. It looks like he'll be the first car back onto the racetrack.
There's the lead car right now, you see, just continuing to motor around the track with a fairly substantial lead. And what a major turn of events on lap 1.
Jan Magnussen starting the 50 car for the Panos team.
You can see all the way before he even got into that corner of the car. He had lost it under braking. The champion car, Wallace taking evasive action. And then look at the other Audi. He has no place to go. He is simply forced to choose the spot in between the cars.
Very disappointed. Ronaldo Capello sits behind the wheel. He was shaking his head, but major damage to the front end of the car. These cars are so sophisticated. There's all types of electronical components here on the front end. They had to change the clutch master cylinder, I believe it was, and they haven't replaced the right front corner on this Audi. So a very lengthy repair here, but it is under yellow. Let's go down to Martin in the Panos pit.
It's all around the left front corner. You can see the floor pan has been torn off by the impact, but the real damage has been done to the front left corner suspension.
Now what this has also done is that we now have Cadillacs running 3rd and 4th place. A bonus day for them.
Take a look. There's the Riley and Scott from Rob Dyson's team, the 16. Butch Leitzinger, James Weaver are here. The Panos, Jan Magnussen is your restart leader. This is lap number 5, and we're back underway.
Well, Jan Magnussen, remember the last time we saw these cars up here, he had a bit of a shot going into turn 3, but he is a very good rain driver. There are 2 Canadians right there. That is, oh boy, and the Corvette gave a big wiggle going into turn 1.
That's Kelly Collins in the number 4 Corvette, leading in GTS right now. Take a look at the battling down into the corner of the Corvettes, the 4 car. There's the 3, Ron Fellows. They had to start at the back, Bill. They had clutch problems.
Yeah, and you can see Ron Fellows using a lot of his experience here at Mosport. He also has run thousands of laps at this track. And something you and I talked of earlier, Mosport in the rain, you try to go offline. And now a lot of people familiar with motorsport understand that you don't follow the line you normally would under race conditions. You want to get away from the rubber, away from the oil. Oh, he's
in trouble.
Going in the wall. Oh, he did a great job. Outstanding control, keeping that car off the wall.
John Graham off of turn 10. He's a Canadian driver, lives not too far from here. Spun that car coming out of the front straightaway. He's going to have trouble getting back online.
Oh, Johnny, don't do that. Now he's got to be backing down off that curb directly into the path of the cars coming off a blind turn 10.
Down into turn 1, and here comes the Audi, the number 1 that was the pole sitter today. Capello back onto the racetrack, but 8 laps down unofficially as the leaders come by.
Yeah, Reinhold Jost is probably making him go back out as a penalty. Saying, you broke my car, you have to go back.
It's been a very interesting first many laps, Bill Adam. We're almost 20 laps into the GT3 Grand Prix here at Mosport.
We've seen Magnussen really just going quickly enough to maintain a lead, but one of the things that's happening right now is that Andy Wallace is positively chewing his way through the field. He right now is picking up 4 seconds a lap on the Panos.
Here's your 3rd place machine, Butch Leitzinger and Rob Dyson, Thetford, Norcold, Riley and Scott with a Ford motor in the back end. This is the new Riley and Scott. The car's been on the racetrack about a year now. It's had a lot of teething problems. The Dyson team decided planning to come and run here this weekend. And next Saturday when we're with you from Mid-Ohio, they'll run this car to try to help the development of this machine. They began this race on pit road. They had a battery failure as they were coming down for the green flag. In GT, it's Leto, Stuckey, Mueller, then Randy Popst trying to get back into contention. He is back in 8th. Trouble, though, for the Dyson team. The 16 car, Butch Leitzinger, plowing up some of the turf here at Mosport Park. Cut across the grass after he lost it. He's back on the racetrack, Bill, but he's got to clean those tires off.
One of the scary parts to lose it, too, because that was down to the bottom of turn 2. An extremely fast area of track. Oh, and there's one of the Porsches off, too. Straight down at Moss Corner, the hairpin. Again, that's where the incident at turn 1 happened. So well, I can't believe it's still slippery down there. That should be dry. It's steeply uphill, which also helps drainage.
And I've gotten down here in the Panos pit. Magnussen was in. He switched off the wet tire because absolutely destroyed this Michelin wet. It's a good tire, but when you get this overheating going on, it just chunks up. There's no grip whatsoever. So I think the reason we're seeing some spins out there right now, guys are out on slick tires, no tire temperature, and the track is still somewhat damp.
Andy Wallace in the champion Audi is now your leader. That's the 38, but he's got a problem.
Definite problem. Andy Wallace has really slowed down.
2 of the GT BMWs will whip by. That's Stuckey in the 6. One of the Schnitzer cars going by as well. I believe that would be J.J. Leto in the 42.
Yellow flag out, so boy, he's getting a lucky break. He's going to be able to make a pit stop here with a yellow flag. That might be a pace car.
Because you've got one of the Peterson Porsches, or the Peterson Porsche, in the tire barrier that we saw a few moments ago. We are ready to restart. Jan Magnussen, your restart leader in the Panos, the 50 car, one of the 675 prototypes, the 5 car of Didier de Radigues second here. Emmanuel Pirot now jumping into the number 2 Audi. The sun is shining, and we're back underway. We've had a lot of action here so far. And a battle, the GTS battle. Ron Fellows, the 4 car is involved in the mix here. Kelly Collins, not on the same lap. There's Fellows in the 3. The Celine right now, the number 26 Celine, Franz Conrad driving, 7th overall. They're leading in GTS. And Bill Adam, Ron Fellows had problems a little while ago, went off the racetrack in that number 3.
He did. He made a little bit of an error going around turn 3, got wide, got off onto the tire wall, and just tagged it lightly. I mean, it was really a fortunate hit. He got away with something that could have been disastrous. Again, going back to his knowledge of the track, huge battle right now. A pair of 7-liter cars going up the straight right here. The Celine, the 427 Ford, the Corvette is to the inside, and he's got him. Ron Fellows, a beautiful late pass going into turn 8.
The difference with Celine compared to anybody in the field is they have wet tires from one manufacturer and dry tires from another. Franz Conrad, who's at the wheel and runs this team, wasn't happy with the way that his Goodyear dry weather tires worked, so they've gone with the Dunlops. But he still had a truck full of Goodyear wet weather rubber, and being a good private team owner, he wasn't going to waste those by trying the Dunlop wets. So they've gone from one manufacturer at the start to another at the middle of the race.
And then big problems for the one Christensen. Off the corner, into the tires, very hard. They are done for the day.
Yeah, not a good day for Team Yost at all. This has just been a horrendous day. But here is the leader. This is the number 50 car. Jan Magnussen continuing to run, continuing to drive so smoothly. And right back there is second place, which is a great battle between Johnny Herbert, who's now driving the champion car, and Emanuele Pirro in that number 2 car. That's the second Yost car, the only remaining car. They have been going at it tooth and nail.
Well, there are indications that the 2 Audis that remain may be able to make it the remaining difference. We're just a little bit past halfway now with only one more stop. Bill Adam, that could be a problem for Magnussen and David Brabham. They may need 2.
Yeah, they really just blew the last yellow flag situation by a tiny bit. They thought they could probably go one more lap under yellow. They were going to bring this car in and do the stop. And unfortunately, it went green before they wanted it to. So it looks like they will be required to do 2 stops, one of which will be a splash. But still, the time it takes to slow down entering pit road and, of course, accelerating out effectively just makes it as bad as a long stop.
We're watching a terrific battle that has yielded this. Johnny Herbert and Andy Wallace have put the champion Audi, the privateer Audi, out in front. Herbert driving the R8 to the lead. Emanuele Pirro is second in the 2 car. The other factory Audi, the other Yost machine, is out. Tom Christensen crashed that machine out a while back. Third belongs to David Brabham and Jan Magnussen in the Panos. Max Angelilli has the Cadillac up in 4th now. He's just past James Weaver and Rob Dyson's Riley and Scott machine.
One of the interesting things here is that car on your screen right there, the number 2 Audi, is not quite the equal of the champion car. Now, yeah, they look alike and they sound alike and everything else. As now the champion car is diving in the pits. This car here is blessed with fuel injection, direct fuel injection. At Le Mans, they were getting an extra lap every tank. Here, they could potentially get another 2, 3, whatever.
So that should be an advantage for the Yost Audi, the silver car. Pirot at the wheel. Here's Herbert.
Once again, earlier we saw the 16 cars he tried to leave the pits was very, very slow leaving. And again, it's just, I don't know what's going on here, but this car does not, and it's chugging a bit.
Well, we talked about it at the top of the broadcast. They started on pit road. Leitzinger squeezes the throttle, and the car gets a little squirrely coming off pit road. They had a battery problem. They didn't even take the green with the rest of the field. Right now, Pirot looking pretty strong, Calvin Fish.
He really is. As we have seen, he does have the fuel advantage. He'll do a slightly shorter fuel stop. And the other key, I just spoke to the Michelin engineer for Yost, and he says, I hope to be able to give him the thumbs up. Remember, the champion team did change the left side tires. That cost valuable seconds. Pirot should be given the thumbs up, fuel only. He should take the lead.
Your leader on pit road, Emmanuel Pirot, bringing the Yost machine onto pit road. Look at this, Bill Adam. They bring the car onto pit road. They bring tires out. They don't put them on. They fuel them only. So Pirot with a 12-second lead over Johnny Herbert in the champion 38 car. Pirot hoping, I'm sure, that there are no more cautions. The Panos LMP1. Jan Magnussen had that car on the point the first half and more of this race. David Brabham now driving the 50. They were the winners at Portland a couple of weeks ago. They're third, but they're 45 seconds back, and they too will probably need another fuel stop.
And praying for a yellow flag at this point too.
Now the GT battle, when we were with you at Sears Point a couple of weeks ago, you've got four essentially factory-backed BMWs, the white and blue cars, the Schnitzer machines, the 42 and the 43. And then you've got the two Tom Milner PTG entries, the 6 and the 10. Well, the 10 car, not much of a factor here. Bill Oberlin got wrecked yesterday in practice. He suffered a concussion. He's sitting out 7 days as per American Le Mans Series rules. This is your GT leader, Jörg Mueller, in the 42.
And it's very interesting. It's a real battle of ego between these two teams. Even though the cars look very, very similar, and they are. They basically designed, and all of the pieces are built by BMW in Europe. When Milner's team, when the PTG guys get these, they naturally modify them little tiny bits. And one place where you'll see it is on the very front end of the car, what they call the splitter. Milner's car has a little carbon fiber tray coming out to try and give them a little more downforce. Oh, and what's this? That's the Panos was off.
David Brabham. David Brabham off course, finds a gear, gets back underway in the Panos, coming out of the front straightaway.
Let's see, when the Viper gets loose under braking, so no, oh, gee, David was almost able to avoid that contact. That shouldn't create any problem for the car at all.
Brabham will bring the car onto pit road.
Probably just for a quick check, because he has to make that final stop for a splash of gas anyway. Smart move. Make a check now. Let the crew take a look at it.
Now at GTS, the big bore GT cars, there's quite a battle developing. This is Johnny O'Connell from Flowery Branch, Georgia, sharing the 3 car, the Goodwrench Corvette, with Ron Fellows. They're 8th overall. They're the leaders. You see that body damage. Fellows went off course earlier when the track was drying, knocked the left rear corner off the car. Hasn't affected it much. But Terry Borcheller in the Celine is closing in. He's 10 seconds back. Bill, they've got about 20 minutes of racing left. What do you think?
It's really tough. I mean, right now, what Johnny has to do is continue to run as hard as he wants. He would love the luxury being able to just sit back and drive at a slow pace, but he has to keep pushing.
It's trouble for the second place team. The champion Audi, Johnny Herbert, has stuffed it into the wall at the bottom of the hill coming off turn 2.
Unbelievable. We talked early. This corner is infamous. The car is really badly damaged. That had to be a huge impact. Earlier, we watched telemetry showing these cars cresting this hill at 145 miles an hour.
Just a handful of minutes remaining here this afternoon in the GT3 Grand Prix at Mosport. Pirot is your leader. Brabham will restart in second. Tinceau in one of the Cadillacs, and Wayne Taylor in the other. The 7 and 8 cars are run very well here today. And we should remind you that Brabham lost a couple of laps on pit road with that unscheduled stop after the contact with the Viper several minutes ago. He had to come to pit road. They had to take a look at the left front corner of the car, make a minor repair. So Brabham is certainly not in position to close up on the 2 car and challenge him for the lead here with about 7 minutes of racing left. There's your Porsche running order, top left of the screen. It is Pirot out in front. Brabham in the 50 moves to second. And then you've got the 2 Cadillacs, and Bill, those Cadillac machines have done a great job here today.
We just saw one of the better battles in ALMS history, I think, today between Max Angelelli and, oh boy, big burst of smoke off the tires there as Taylor tried to get in very deep.
Butch Leitzinger is right behind him, and this is for position according to timing and scoring. Leitzinger 5th, Taylor 4th.
Leitzinger being very, very aggressive in this, Riley and Scott.
And remember, too, the Cadillacs were built originally by Riley and Scott. The white car there is the latest Riley and Scott. Here's Leitzinger around Taylor for 4th spot.
Oh, that's it. That's the award in the race for bravery right on that one. I have never seen anybody pass successfully on the outside of turn 2.
So Leitzinger takes the 16 back to 4th around Wayne Taylor and starts to drive away from him. Great move by the State College.
He's off. He's going
off the racetrack.
He went in way too deep there. Absolutely impossible. Now he's going to spin again.
Oh, and Butch hits the tires for the second time today.
Be patient with the gas pedal, Butch. Here he is. He's passing right now. He's going to set up. This is coming out of turn 1. Goes to the outside. Keep in mind, this is 140 miles an hour right there. The car wants to go outside, and he deliberately takes it out wide.
I'm sure Wayne Taylor looked over and said, okay, if you want it that badly, well, I'll give you room. Pirro and Frank Biela, who started this car, they will break the streak here that they have going for their team in the 2-car. Winless in ALMS competition coming into the weekend after 4 starts. This will be their first victory in 2001. Last year, they scored 3 wins in Las Vegas and Texas and at the 12 Hours of Sebring, one of the great road races in the world. It'll be the 4th career victory in ALMS action for Pirro and Biela, but their first this year. Reinhold Jost's team will collect their 4th win of 2001 if Pirro can bring that car just the last couple of 100 yards here at Mosport. Here he comes down the front straightaway, fist in the air. The Audi team on the wall to congratulate their driver. Emanuele Pirro and Frank Biela are the winners here at Mosport International Raceway. And there is your 675 prototype leader and winner, Bruno Lambert, for the Dick Barber team. Teaming with Didier de Radigas here this weekend, and they win the LMP category, the LMP 675s, and finish 6th overall. Johnny O'Connell and Ron Fellows will win GTS in the Goodwrench number 3, and there's that machine. Despite Fellows' off-course trip in that race car.
Yeah. As he pointed out, that is one strong race car, and these guys have done a great job.
J.J. Leto and Jorg Mueller win GT in the Schnitzer BMW M3. 42 car will finish 10th overall.
Only 1 win so far this year for Emanuele Pirro and Frank Biela. All right, it was at Le Mans, but it must be nice to win here in America.
Most definitely. I mean, Le Mans, it's a great race, and I wouldn't switch it to any other race. But it's very good to win here because we've been very close in quite a few occasions, and we had bad luck. So it's good to be first, especially after a tough race.
Tough race with the champion car. They got very close.
They got very close, but to be honest, the situation was quite under control. Johnny was taking a lot of risks with the slower cars, and I'm not prepared to do so. I was a little bit more conservative, so it was gaining on him, and then he was gaining on me on overtakings, but as you could see, the strategy paid off.
Jorg Mueller and J.J. Leto came so close to the overall win last year. Jorg, you finally got a little bit of payback here at Mosport today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy. You know, we had at least we had a good car in the race. We were struggling a whole weekend somehow with our setup. You know, it's like 2 races ago. Somehow we get it sorted, and you know, we saved the tires, so the car stayed quite consistent. I'm happy. You know, JJ did a fantastic job at the start and at the end. So good car, good baby.
Ron, last year a couple of licks of paint would have seen you the winner in GTS. It nearly got that close again this year.
Well, if you have a look at that Corvette, that is a strong car. Pratt Miller guys have built a very strong car. We got a little unfortunate, got tangled up with one of the BMWs, got off in 3, and boy, as soon as I hit the grass, the car just took off, and I thought we were done. But the car had a little bit more oversteer after that, but it was still pretty fast. And Johnny did a great job holding off Terry. Again, great pit strategy, and want to thank all the people for coming. This is not a kind of lousy day weather-wise, but again, just a great win. I'm so happy to win here at Mosport.